So usually anymore, I don't really need to write on my arms anymore. My arms have been clean for a while. Or sometimes I might write like a little something like just childlike or something. I think that might have been the last thing I wrote about. But no, I don't really have a need to write on my arms anymore, because when my mind starts ruminating or making assumptions or catastrophizing, oh, sorry guys, oh no. If my mind starts ruminating or catastrophizing, hopefully don't fall. Oh no. The balance is ungood. Maybe the balance is just right. Maybe I need to move on from that topic. I can recall what I need to remember at any given time. Most times. Today I did get stuck for a minute. There was something I wanted to bring up with my coworker, like something nice. Like, hey, you bought me Buffalo Wild Wings today. That's so nice of you. Let me do a favor back for you. And I was like, oh, it could be nice if I offer to give him a few of my coloring books. And then I was like, just tangled up in my brain, like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about approaching him and asking if he'd like a few of my books. and I kept on like replaying the situation in my head over and over again about how I would ask him and what he might say and how it would go and if I might get rejected or something. I was really nervous. Like, and I've noticed that it happened 2 days ago where I wanted to approach someone and bring up a topic with them about a potential job that they had offered me, the CBD person. They were really nice. But I was so nervous. When I saw him, I was like, oh my goodness, okay. I'm so nervous about talking to him and getting more information. And I was like really nervous again. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm almost done watering this section. I'll go over and talk to him. And then at that point, he and two of my other coworkers started walking away. I'm like, oh, what a relief. And my anxiety was immediately alleviated because the concept of going over there with an intention of having a specific conversation was so stressful. And then when the conversation wasn't going to happen anymore because they walked away, immediate relief. And today, when I was pondering, oh, I want to go ask Morgan if he'd like a couple of my books, and I was getting so nervous about it. And then at some points I was able to relax for a moment and not stress out, and that's kind of when I was like trying to stop from ruminating, because I realized that the rumination was happening. Like, okay, you're making assumptions, you're ruminating, just relax, just watch this water that you're watering this plant, just watch the water. And then eventually I realized, hey, you don't actually need to go over there and talk to them. You don't have to do it. Like, it's completely okay if you don't go do it and force yourself to go outside of your comfort zone. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. And then to say that to myself and write that on a post-it note and give myself that, like, that relaxed friend talking to me, like, hey, it's okay, you don't have to go talk to him at all, you don't have to do that. If you feel uncomfortable, that's okay. You can just relax and maybe do it some other time, or maybe not. You don't have to do it at all. And if you don't want to do it right now, that's completely fine, okay? You're the only one who's putting the pressure on yourself of forcing yourself to go do it. And to say that to myself and to realize, hey, I actually don't have to do it, was extremely relieving, and it alleviated so much pressure that I was placing on myself of having to bring up a conversation with someone. And I know that during my teenage years, from like 14 to 17 or so, I really forced myself to push myself. Like, hey, you're scared about going to talk to this person or whatever, go do it anyways. And I would go do it anyways. And anytime I felt it, I would be like, nope, I'm going to do it. I don't want to be scared talking to people. I don't want to be shy. I want to come off as being extroverted and friendly and hyper, and so I pushed myself to do that, and I was good at it. I was very good at faking it, and to the point where I actually, from like age 14 to, I think especially 14 and 15, I did really good at forcing myself to be extroverted. And I had a lot of friends, I was very social, and I needed to talk to people to help myself feel better. And I remember, I think I was 13 or 14, I remember I really like just got so much self-fulfillment from talking to people. And I remember one day I was like, oh, awesome, I talked to 5 people on the phone today, that's so good. I'm so happy I was able to talk to so many people. It was like a sense of pride for me. And it was interesting. And in middle school, I was very shy and very scared and very socially awkward with talking to people. And I didn't like the homeschool co-op that my parents had me in. I didn't like it really at all. There weren't really that many people my age, and I wanted to go somewhere different, and I felt really outcasted. And there was like this one boy that I really, really liked. His name was Nathan. And I was so shy. I could never, like, anytime he was in the room, I was extremely, overwhelmingly, super duper nervous all the time. Because I thought he was so cute, and I thought he was so cool. And he was in the theater, and I thought that was so cool, and he always got a lead role. And I was in love with him. I thought he was the best thing ever. But anytime I was in any room, or I knew he was going to be in a room that I was in, I was just so overwhelmingly nervous all the time. I had one friend there, Sam, I called her Sam, and we were best friends, and we ate lunch together and sat together, and there was one other girl that we sat with sometimes, but I was really uncomfortable pretty much all middle school, and really nervous all the time. Shit. So I guess dealing with anxiety is nothing new. I've been dealing with anxiety ever since I was little, with the OCD stuff. Because I got OCD when I was like 8 years old, and it was really overwhelming and really really time consuming and extremely obsessive about even numbers and symmetry and doing things perfectly right or correct or repetitive actions. It was really, really overwhelming. But so somehow I developed OCD when I was really little, and some of my anxiety started when I was really little. And also, when I was really little, my sister used to hit me a lot. And then my best friend Sam, she hit me a lot too. And I didn't understand then why Sam acted the way that she did. I understand it better now, but I mean, as a kid, you don't know, and I didn't know that she had Asperger's. I didn't know. I didn't even know what that was. No one told me about it. But so I was abused a lot as a kid by my sister and my friends. They both hit me. And I know, Mary, if you're watching this, I know you already apologized, and it's okay. And I love you. It was just hard. And sometimes I thought, like, what if I fight back? What if they hit me, what if I hit them back? And I didn't want to hit them back, because if I hit them back, they would just hit me harder. And I didn't want to get hurt. But it doesn't matter, thinking about what it might have been like if I did punch back. But if I did stand up for myself and not let myself get bullied, would they have stopped? But for me to punch back, I don't think I've ever hit anyone out of anger. I don't think so. Not like that, at least. I was thinking about a lot of the stuff that I was thinking what I might talk about in the video when I was taking a shower. Then I thought about this time at church with my family. But all the kids, there's like this big field, and there were a lot of kids at the church. Yet again, not really anyone my age exactly. They're all slightly older, slightly younger. So I was a loner a lot. So maybe just being a loner a lot made me just continue to not feel accepted, along with a lot of other things that I'm sure I'll talk about in more videos that I've been thinking about a lot, about why I am so afraid of judgment. But there was this time at church, and there were these kids across the field, and they were like mean kids, bad kids, and they were trying to start a fight with all the church kids who were on the other side of the field. and the mean kids were in the field and they were yelling and shouting, and they were picking up big clumps of dirt from the cornfield because it was like there wasn't any corn, it was just dirt. They were picking up huge chunks of dirt and they were throwing them at us and throwing them at the church kids and shouting stuff. And I guess maybe it's from being bullied so much, is that I walked out into the field and I believed that I wouldn't get hit by their big clumps of dirt they were throwing. I believed that I'd be fine and that God would protect me, and that I was just doing an act of showing them, like, hey, you're throwing stuff at me, but you can't hurt me. You're throwing stuff, but I love you anyways, and I want you to know that you can't do anything. Like, I'm here, I see you, I hear you, but I'm not gonna throw things back at you. I'm just gonna go in the middle of this war zone and stand here and watch you guys throw this stuff at me, but I'm not gonna throw stuff back at you. And I don't know how long I stood there, probably not very long, but the minister, Mr. O'Brien, he rushed in and he like put his arm around me and hustled me out of there. It's interesting. And a lot of this stuff I've already known, but it's interesting to go through it all in my brain and say it verbally in a video that anyone can watch and hear my story. But to go through it step by step, or however order, little bit by little bit, disorder by disorder, but to go through it and talk about it openly, and not just with, say, one person or my partner or my friend, but to like just talk about it. You guys are like my counselors or my therapist. Not that I'm looking for your advice or suggestions, but I feel like me talking to these videos is just opening up new strength. And someone commented somewhere, I see your vulnerability as strength. Or I don't see vulnerability, I see strength, or something like that. That was cool. I got a couple new books. I just mailed this one to Grace. Ethan sent it to me, and it's a really good book, The 4 Agreements, and I mailed it was a book that Ethan sent me that someone gave to him, and so it's like a continue the sharing of love and knowledge kind of book, and so I mailed it on to my dear friend Grace. But I just found it at Goodwill. It's a really good book, so I wanted to add it to my collection at some point. And then I used to have this book, my friend from college, Ellen Garner. I'm gonna have to message her again. But she gave me this book, and when I moved to Cleveland, I gave it to Asa. And I never really thoroughly appreciated the words in this book. I guess because at that point in time I wasn't really going through so much of this journey, but now, I mean, I did towards the end when I gave the book to Asa, I was doing the journey, but this book wasn't helpful for me. I was more into specifically psychology, like all my textbooks and stuff. But now that I'm opening this book up again, I'm reading these sentences and I'm seeing words. I didn't read much of it yet, but I'm seeing words that make so much more sense to me than they did back then, because I didn't see existence the way I did back then as I do now. I see it a lot more open-minded in regards to, I think, most everything. I try and be a very open-minded person, and I know that I'm more open-minded than I used to be when I got this book when I was probably like, I don't know, 20? But especially in regards to the shadow self and embracing my darkness and embracing my pain and my anxiety, and having that be a recognized feature of my identity and an appreciated feature. There's a lot more stuff to learn. Did we catch any orbs in this video? I'm really looking forward to Samhain, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos. Me and Brandon and Kefren, we're deriving some good ghostly spiritual plans, and I'm really excited. And my friend Javier just messaged me back, so I have to listen to his messages to see if he wants to participate. And yeah, this was a good video. I'm glad that I could talk and spread these words and my story, because my story is important. What I've experienced and what I've been through is significant. I love you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Alright.